Hello, Gareth here, and today I'm going to do something a bit scary for me, which is a watercolor scribble. That's what I'm calling it. And basically I'm going to paint a picture in about 5 or 10 minutes. That's the ideal time, and my hope is that you will join me and have a go too. So I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible, but if this is too much, then let me know in the comments, and then maybe I'll have to have a rethink. But anyway, I'm going to hopefully put up on this video a photo of the scene I'm going to paint, and I'll have a link in the section box below, whatever it's called, where you can go to my website and you can download that photo. Let's begin with this. So first of all, I wasn't going to do this, but why not? This is really going to be an experiment. I did have a few goes though. This is going to be the sky. I'm using just a light blue. This is cobalt turquoise light, maybe, I'm not sure. But you don't have to do that. In the original, I didn't do that. So next I'm going to do mountains in the distance. Now I'm going to darken this up a little bit by adding a touch of burnt umber. I should know the names of my colours, but there you go. And there we go. It is actually a bit more of a deeper blue, so let's go for a phthalo blue. And the whole point of this exercise is just to make pretty crappy watercolor paintings that are just very fun and expressive and get you painting. I want them to be not too challenging, because the thing is, if you're not painting, you're not going to get better. So there we go, that's that. And I made a mistake with that because I wanted not to paint down here, because I'm going to do that now, and that's all going to end up too soft. But hey, you can see me fail, and hopefully seeing me fail will just encourage you to have a go. So now I'm mixing phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, burnt umber, so I get this kind of grey mix, more brown and it's more grey, so something like that. And then this is stuff in the distance. Now it would have been nice to have had some white gaps in here, but there you go. I thought I was going to do a monotone one to begin with, but looks like I'm doing colour right from the beginning. In the next one I do, unless I get a load of dislikes with this one, I'll do a monotone one. I think you'll like that because it's just so simple. Now this brush is called, what's it called? Goodness me, I was going to call it a bloody nipple brush. I can't believe that. The way my mind works, it's terrible. No, it's called a cat's tongue. A cat's tongue, or a pointed oval, and it's an absolutely gem of a brush. It's amazing. Now if you haven't got this brush, don't let that stop you. Okay, just get a brush. A mop brush is fine, a round brush is fine, and just have a go. If you haven't got the same colors as me, have a go. If you've got just, I don't know, bright red acrylic paint, use that. If you've got like a toothbrush, well, no, maybe don't use that. No, use that, whatever you've got. Anyway, back to the point. I'm making a real thick mix now. Phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, this burnt umber, and I'm going to do this tower here. There's a big tower, right? So you see how bold that is? Now you're only going to get bold by painting on fairly cheap watercolor paper, Obviously you don't need a brain that works really well, but anyway, you're only going to get good at this kind of thing by just painting a lot, probably on cheap paper, so you don't feel threatened or worried. And yeah, maybe using cheap paints as well is probably okay too. Now I do my own kind of edging for the buildings like this. You don't have to do that. And then at the top I'm just going to add a load of water, because I want it to be faint at the top and then get darker as it comes down. Now the whole thing is drying out way too quickly because I'm talking too much. So let's spray this to wet it, and then I wipe my brush and then just take some of this paint out. Okay, not so great, but who cares? Just having fun. That's what this is all about, having fun and not worrying too much about doing a super fantastic painting, because to be honest, if you want to do a super fantastic painting, although it's a good ambition to have, it's like you're guaranteed to fail. I can definitely say that, because it just will not happen. It's like you just won't paint in a free way. So I'm just making a bit of a purple here, just a load of burnt umber. I want to really darken this, yeah. Okay, like that. And then we've got big sign here. Now I'm lucky because this is dried off, and that's probably why I said don't do that bit, because you don't want to make it more difficult than it needs to be. I was probably just showing off there. It does happen, and apologies about that. I think we all want to prove ourselves. Oh look, I bodged that up. And in some ways, what I hope this will be about, although I want to do some really lovely paintings at the same time, my real aim is just to loosen you up and get you painting and having fun, and just to experience the joy of painting. And these things here, these are car windscreens, yeah, and I did this slightly thicker. Now at some point I have got ulterior motives, but I'll be honest about it. I will start a watercolor class hopefully at some point, and I've got some courses below. There's a one brush one which is free and I think pretty good, but I will start a course at some point. Oh, can you see how they're all in order? That's rubbish. Even if that was how it really was, you don't want such regularity. Oh dear, look at that, I've messed it up. I'll turn it into a tree. There we go. So I just hope sometimes when I do these paintings I can be very honest with you, and if I screw it up you see it all. I'm not sure I can be that honest, to be honest. Guys, girls, whatever. So I'm making a bit of a purple mix here. That's too purple, but I'm in the flow and I'm just going to do that. Now what I want to do fairly quickly is some big posts here, and also I'm using my liner brush now. It's all happening a bit too quickly, so I apologize about that. And I want to make this darker, burnt umber. But I just hope you'll paint in a loose, relaxed way and really have some fun. And here we go. Now what I want to do is, this is a bit different from the photograph. I want the railing here to connect to this top bit here, because that connection is so important from a composition point of view. It's really, really important. And then I know what I should have done for the shadows. This is what I wanted to show you. Now this is really wrong, but I'm going to get this blue, yeah, and I'm going to do these light blue shadows. Now look at that, outrageous. And then we've got the sunlight, and I should have done it over here with this building here. Look at that, that's too late. And then these cars. Sometimes I just exaggerate things, and I hope you now, wherever you are in your watercolor painting, will just sometimes do silly stuff like this and use the wrong color, but use it because it looks kind of dramatic and interesting. Because you see, one of the things I've forgotten, maybe I never had it, is just to have some fun with watercolor. Look at that. It's the wrong color for the shade, but it looks fantastic, doesn't it? Okay, well, that's what I think. And then there's a curb here, which I might just add because it looks quite interesting. And then let's do some seriously dangerous stuff, which are these big posts in the foreground. So I make the same mix, same colours, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, burnt umber, using my cat's tongue brush. Goodness me, maybe I'll have to erase what I called it earlier. Apologies about that. Look guys, I'm a C grade student. Yeah, I'm not an intellect. I did try and I failed. So anyway, let's do a big post coming down here. Ooh, bit nervous. Wipe it on the rag to get rid of excess water. We might get a bit of a dry brush effect and it's more controllable. Here we go. So there we go, there's one. Then we've got to do another one. I'm going to do that other one. Okay, here. I was in two minds about whether to add this other one. You don't really have to add it. You really don't. It's not important. It doesn't really add that much to the picture, I think. But anyway, I did it. So the way I paint is normally I just paint something and then it's probably wrong and then I paint it again. And then I paint it again. And I paint it again until eventually I get it right. Sometimes it takes many paintings. And then we've got this thing coming down here. It's actually up here, so this is where I'm cheating. This post is up here, but I want to paint it because it looks good. Okay, so we're getting to the 13-minute mark, so I sort of failed with this painting. I wanted it to be about 10 minutes. So if I can quickly finish this off, I will. Then there's a thing across here that's too thick. Then a bit coming down here. But am I having fun? A little, actually. So that's not too bad. And for these car windows, let's get a real blue and brown mix, very thick. And then do a windscreen there, one there, and that's now irregular, right? And a bit of a dash there, maybe there's something over there, bit of abstraction. I really like it. And then maybe we've got our crossing here, which is what this is going to be called, even though I don't show much of the crossing. There it goes. And I might just hint at a bit of grey down here. And then do dry brush. Wet this. Wipe it a lot, because that'll get rid of the excess water. Give me a bit of dry brush. And then just darken it down here. And then just spray that. Okay, I wanted to do a figure, so I'm using a bamboo brush now. Now I'm showing off, apologies. Well, yeah, I just want to do a good job, right? So the same 3 colours for this dark thing. And I'm going to do a figure here. And because this is soft, it's going to disappear a bit, but I'm going to do this in one go. So one shot. Dry brush legs, if you can do it. And then this light blue colour. See that all these shadowy lines are working together. You see how they're coming more and more up, 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 until here they're really high up, right? At that angle. Very, very steep. Okay, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and then really nice thing is all these wires. All these crazy wires. So I've got my liner brushed now, and I'm going to go absolutely nuts. In Japan, there's just wires everywhere, but I love them because they connect the painting. Hopefully you can see that. It's just joining everything up in an amazing way. Oh, and there's even over here a thing, something there. I don't know where it goes to. Okay, and then there's one maybe there. I'm probably adding adding more than there are. So, but do you get the feeling of it? And just have fun. Might even do a few up there. You know, go for it. And then the final thing is just a bit of white. You know, let's add white just because they say you shouldn't do it. No. I add white because it really works well. It's so useful. Now this might bleed. Ideally you should put this on. Well, I'm not sure if it's ideally, but if you want to be safe, you should put this on after it's dried. But sometimes if it bleeds in, it can look good. Look at that car. That car is wrong. So is that one. Oh my goodness. So anyway, you're just getting it all here. But it's just a form of abstraction. And I'm just going to say there's a railing over here. It just connects all these whites. And it makes an interesting kind of pattern. And then around here, around the figure, around him, he looks pretty cool. That's nice. And then that's basically it. Okay, let's do something really crazy, because this is also for me, to be honest. I'm going to add some of this blue here and just do that. I don't know why, because the whole point of this maybe is just to loosen us up and get us like enjoying watercolor painting. And can you see what's happened there? So you really want to let it dry a bit more and then do the white thing. It doesn't have to be completely dry, otherwise you get this effect. And that's it. So I really hope you have a go, and I will include, if you follow the link below and you go to the blog post that I will make at some point, it might take a week or so, there will be a photograph that you can download and you can use that as reference. And the interesting thing is, when you look at the photograph, do have a look at how I've changed things. This is up here. This color is different, but it was easier to do using just pure color. Like I told you about the shadows, they're different, but it works. I added this figure, he wasn't there, and the cars, I made them bigger. They're actually smaller and further away because I just thought it looked more interesting. So there's various things. There's a big tree here, palm tree, that I thought didn't really look quite right. because I've got all these lovely straight lines and things like that, and I didn't really want anything natural here, so I didn't add that. So that was really a conscious choice. And so there were things like that that I changed. So do look out for things like that. I really hope you find this fun and that you just have a go and do it and just mess it up, because basically this is the philosophy, guys. If you paint, you will get better. If you paint with complete abandonment and don't care too much, you'll get better even quicker. And also there'll be a kind of vitality and energy in your painting that you will not get if you're trying to paint a really lovely painting. So that's what I'm trying to teach you in these watercolor scribbles. And yet finally there's a bit of a promotion thing now, so if you don't want to hear that, now's the time to just go somewhere else. So at some point I will be doing a watercolor course. It will be paid. My idea at the moment is something like twice a month or once a month, and we all get together and have a live session, and hopefully it'll be like a kind of a casual hangout, but I'm a pretty serious teacher as well, so I want it to be a nice blend of good teaching and friends getting together and having a nice time together, because you know, watercolor painting is so fun. That's why I keep doing it even though I can't sell these paintings, right? Because it is just so fun to paint. So I hope you enjoyed that, and please, all I want to say is get your paper out, toilet paper, whatever, get some paper out, get some brushes out, get some paint out, and just have fun. And if you're really upset by what you painted, throw it in the bin. Most of my paintings still go in the bin after 20 years, and that's not to discourage you, because I'm not discouraged. It's just to let you know that normally when you paint, it's going to end up really rubbish. But that's why you don't paint and worry about the result. You just enjoy the painting, and then now and again you get a really fantastic painting and it's like, yeah, great. So that's all. Have fun and paint.